Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, May 1st, 2026. Today we'll recap the NBA Stanley Cup playoffs and look ahead to tonight's and the weekend's games in your sports today with baseball, soccer, golf, NASCAR on this day, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start the NBA playoffs. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight and the weekend. An absolute bloodbath in Atlanta as the Knicks beat the Hawks 140-89. This game was over from jump start. Knicks win in 6. The probably the largest playoff victory in Knicks history. One of the more impressive first halves in NBA history. I could just go on and on and on. And yeah, so much for panic time a week ago. Sixers keep their season alive with a 106-93 win over the Celtics. They'll force the Game 7 back in Boston on Saturday night. That is a shocker for them to come back from 3-1 down. And to talk about shockers, the T-Wolves upset the Nuggets 110-98 to advance to the second round. They didn't have Anthony Edwards, Dante DiVincenzo, or Ayo DeSamo, and they still get it done against Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, who are staring at a interesting offseason ahead. All right, 3 games tonight on Prime Video, 7 o'clock. You have the Pistons and the Magic, Game 6. Huge game. Could Orlando pull it off, or can Detroit force a Game 7? The Pistons are a 3.5-point favorite, total 209.5. I'm going to take Orlando again, the 3 and a hook. I kind of think they close out tonight. They've been really good at home. They've found themselves. And I don't like how Cade Cunningham's been playing, so I'm going to take the Magic getting 3.5. 7:30 on Prime Video, Cavs, Raptors, Game 6. The Cavs are giving 4.5, total 218.5. For this one, I'm going to go with the under. And this is based on what we saw in Game 4. But I do think Cleveland closes out. And at 9:30 on Prime Video, Lakers, Rockets. The Rockets are a 3.5-point home favorite. Totals 205.5. I kind of think that the Rockets force a Game 7 here. I know this is crazy. I think this Rockets team has a shot to pull off history, coming back from 3-0 for the first time for an NBA team. The team that had really had the best chance to do it, in my opinion, was the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown Celtics a couple years ago against Miami, but obviously Tatum got hurt. We know what happened. But I'm going to lay the 3.5 for the Rockets. I think they force a Game 7. So I think we'll have one Game 7 and then Cavs and Magic close out. All right, and then Saturday night, 7:30 on the big NBC, Sixers Celtics Game 7. The Celtics are a whopping 7.5-point favorite, totals 206.5. Game 7s feel like it auto under to me. Nerves, a lot of bricks. But I'm going to say the Celtics get it done. But the Sixers cover to 7.5. And then a Game 7 between the Lakers and the Rockets. I think that this is going to be the apocalypse of the Rockets season. I'm going to say that game is close. And the Rockets have the lead late and they blow it, and the Lakers find the way to win. And that's going to happen in Game 7. I'm going to say Cavaliers win regardless. But if Pistons Magic goes 7, I think the Pistons get it done and come back from 3-1 down. So this has been a great round 1 so far. That Hawks-Knicks series was interesting, and then it didn't become interesting. It kind of turned into the Thunder Suns of the Eastern Conference in a weird way. But even Portland San Antonio was somewhat competitive for a little while. Portland did show some fight. But yeah, great first round for sure. Now we'll move on to hockey. We'll go over yesterday's results, look ahead to tonight and the weekend. Wild over the Stars 5-2 as they win their series and advance to the second round. They'll be playing the Colorado Avalanche, and the Ducks over the Oilers 5-2. and they'll take on the winner of the Mammoth Golden Knights series. And now an interesting offseason awaits for Connor McDavid and the Oilers. I'm going to probably do a separate show, like postmortems and whatnot, because I really don't have time today. 7 o'clock, ESPN2, Lightning Canadiens, Game 6. It's a big one for Martin St. Louis and the Canadiens. The Lightning are slight favorites, minus 114 to Habs, or minus 105 over on their 5.5, minus 10 each way. Bolts minus 1.5, plus 205. Habs plus 1.5, minus 260. I'm going to double down with the Lightning. I just think that their experience will guide them, and they have the better goalie in Andrei Vasilevsky. 7:30 ESPN Sabres Bruins. Sabres minus 120, Bruins even money over under 5.5. Overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Sabres minus 1.5, plus 198. Bruins plus 1.5, minus 250. I'm going to go with the under, but I think Buffalo closes out. 10 o'clock, ESPN Golden Knights Mammoth. Vegas minus 114, Mammoth minus 105, over under 5.5. Overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Golden Knights minus 1.5, plus 198. Mammoth plus 1.5, minus 250. I'm going to double down and say Vegas, and I'm going to say I win my Vegas in 6 bet that I have. And then round 2 begins on a Saturday primetime on ABC. So basketball will be on NBC, and hockey will be on ABC. That's usually the years past, that's the opposite. So the Canes are minus 10, the Flyers are plus 172, over under 5.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Flyers plus 1.5, minus 148, Canes minus 1.5, plus 118. I'm going to lay the puck line with the Canes. I think it's a letdown spot for the Flyers. I'm going to lay the minus 1.5 at plus 118. And then we'll just do a series preview for this really quickly. Best player in the series, I'm going to say, is Sebastian Aho. He's been the best player on the Hurricanes for a long time. The coaching advantage will go to Rod Bindamore. The goalie advantage, I will say that will go to Frederick Anderson, who had a really good series against Ottawa, although he did not have a good regular season at all. Although Dan Vladar had a really good series against Pittsburgh, and he's been fantastic all season long. So I'm going to give the goalie edge in general to Anderson, but this season, Vladar. So the subplot of the series, the Flyers have been a big-time overachiever, and to me, this comes down to Vladar. Is he the hot goalie of the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs? That is a really good question. Pick for the series. I wanted to say another Carolina sweep, but that's hard to do. Division series. I think calling it a 6-game series would be a stretch. I think the Flyers are lucky if it goes 6 or 7. But I'm going to say the Carolina Hurricanes win in 5 games, and that is 3-1. Wow, sweep is actually plus 650, which is crazy. And the Flyers are minus 345 in the series, and the Flyers are plus 270. The minus 1.5 games is good, too. I would put that in a parlay. All right, now move on to baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. We actually have a game underway, obviously. Tigers over the Braves 5-2. Doubleheader game 1. O's over the Astros 10-3. Doubleheader game 1. Phils over the Giants 3-2. Cards over the Pirates 10-5. Reds over the Rockies 6-4. Nats over the Mets 5-4. Brewers over the D-backs 13-1. A's over the Royals 6-3. Astros over the O's 11-5. That's doubleheader game 2. Phils over the Giants 6-5-10 on a walk-off sac fly by Alec Boehm. And the Twins over the Blue Jays 7-1. And I forgot what I had for best bet. I think I had the under in the Dallas game, which was wrong. The hockey game. All right, so D-backs Cubs is underway. Bottom of the first. It started at 2:20. Starting pitchers are Colin Rea and Zach Gallen. We won't pick the game. 6:30 Rangers Tigers. Mackenzie Gore, Jack Flaherty. Tigers minus 116, Rangers minus 102 over under 8, minus 110 each way. Rangers minus 1.5 plus 160, Tigers plus 1.5 minus 194. That is a tough one. I'm gonna go with the. It's rare that I do this. Close money lines, but the total is more enticing, so I'm gonna go with the over. 6:45 Reds Pirates on Apple TV. Brady Singer, Mitch Keller. Pirates minus 136, Reds plus 116 over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Reds plus 1.5 minus 192. Pirates minus 1.5 plus 158. I like the under at minus 105. Brewers Nationals. Jacob Mizorowski and Jake Irving. Brewers minus 154. Nats plus 130 over under 8. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Brewers minus 1.5 plus 108. Nats plus 1.5 minus 130. I'm going to lay the run line with the Brewers minus 1.5 at plus 108. 7 o'clock. O's Yankees from the Bronx. We don't know who's going for Baltimore yet, which is weird. And Will Warren is going for the Yankees, who's been good this year. Yanks are minus 184. O's plus 154 over under 8. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. O's plus 1.5 minus 134. Yanks minus 1.5 plus 112. They've been an under team all year long because of the starting pitching. Their offense doesn't have to go off like it has in the past. So I'm going to go under 8.5 at minus 104. Phillies Marlins. Zach Wheeler and Yuri Perez. Phil's minus 116, Marlins minus 102, over under 8, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Phil's minus 1.5 plus 140, Marlins plus 1.5 minus 170. I think they're going to be playing for Donnie Baseball. I'm going to lay to minus 116 for the Fighting Phils. Giants Rays, Robbie Ray and Shane McClanahan. Rays minus 142, Giants plus 120, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105, Giants plus 1.5 minus 178, Rays minus 1.5 plus 146. I like the under. Two good pitchers on the mound here. 8 o'clock, Jays Twins. Patrick Corbin and Simeon Woods Richardson. Twins minus 110, Jays minus 106, over under 8.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Jays minus 1.5 plus 162, Twins plus 1.5 minus 196. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays on the road at minus 106. I know Patrick Corbin stinks, but he hasn't stunk this year in the Twin Sting. Dodgers Cardinals 8:15, Emmett Sheehan and Matthew Liberatore. Dodgers minus 178, Cards plus 150, over under 8.5, overs plus 104, unders minus 128. Dodgers minus 1.5 minus 102, Cards plus 1.5 minus 118. I'm going to go with the over at plus money. 8:30, Braves Rockies. Grant Holmes, Jose Quintana. Braves minus 184, Rockies plus 154, over under 11. Overs even money, unders minus 122. Braves minus 1.5 minus 118, Rockies plus 1.5 minus 102. Braves are a better team, minus 1.5 and minus 118. They're the best record in baseball, so gotta lay it. 9:30, Mets and the Angels. Christian Scott and Wilbert Urena. Mets minus 124, Angels plus 106, over under 9. Overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Mets minus 1.5 plus 126. Angels plus 1.5 minus 154. Or minus 152. I like the over. White Sox Padres. Noah Schultz and German Marquez. Padres minus 146. White Sox plus 124. Over under 8. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 170. Padres minus 1.5 plus 140. I'll go with the over here as well. Don't feel strong about it though. Guardians A's. Joey Cantillo and JT Ginn. Guardians minus 116, A's minus 102, over under 9.5, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Guardians minus 1.5 plus 136, A's plus 1.5 minus 164. I'm going to leave with the Guardians at minus 116. Last but not least, 9:45, Royals, Mariners on Apple TV. Cole Reagans and Brian Wu, good pitching matchup. Mariners minus 148, Royals plus 126, over under 7, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Royals plus 1.5 minus 182. Mariners minus 1.5 plus 150. I'm going to go with the under at minus 108. All right, tomorrow, 1:30, O's Yankees. Kyle Bradish, Ryan Weathers. 210 Jays Twins, Dylan Cease, Connor Prelep. 220 D-backs Cubs, Ryan Nelson and Shota Imanaga. 4 o'clock Reds Pirates, Rhett Lauder and Carmen Wadzinski. Brewers Nats, Kyle Harrison, Foster Griffin. Guardians A's, Slade Ciccone, Jacob Lopez. Astros Red Sox, Spencer Argetti and Connolly Early. Not a terrible pitching matchup. Phillies Marlins, Aaron Nola, Max Meyer. 6 o'clock Giants Rays, Landon Raup and Jesse Schultens. 7:15 on Fox, Rangers Tigers, Kumar Rocker, Kiter, Montero. A lot of people thought this was like the ALCS preview before the year. They're combined 31 and 32. And then the other game on Fox is Dodgers Cardinals, Roki Sasaki and Michael McGreevy. So we got a lot going on after the Derby tomorrow. We got the baseball on Fox, the hockey on ABC, and the basketball on NBC. Um, 8 o'clock, Braves Rockies. Chris Sale, and we know he's going for Colorado. White Sox Padres. Sean Burke, Michael King. 9:30 Mets Angels. Noah McLean and Reed Detmers. And Royals Mariners, Seth Lugo and Emerson Hancock. All right, Sunday, 12:30 on Peacock, Blue Jays Twins, Trey Savage against Joe Ryan. 1:30 Reds Pirates, Chase Burns and Braxton Ashcraft. O's Yankees, Shane Baz and Max Fried. Astros Red Sox, TBD and Ranger Suarez. Brewers Nats, Chad Patrick and Zach Little. Phil's Marlins, Andrew Painter and Chris Paddock. Giants Rays, Tyler Mahle and Steven Matz. 2 o'clock Dodgers Cardinals, Justin Warbelski and Dustin May. D-backs Cubs, Merrill Kelly and Matt Boyd. Oh, that's an over. 3 o'clock Braves Rockies, Spencer Strider making his season debut against Kyle Freeland. Guardians A's, Parker Messick and Aaron Savali. Mets Angels, Clay Holmes and Jack Hocknowitz. White Sox Padres, Anthony Kay and Randy Vasquez. Royals Mariners, Chris Bubic and Luis Castillo. And Sunday Night Baseball, 7:20 on Peacock, Tigers Rangers, Jack Leiter and Munoz going for Detroit. All right, so there you have it for baseball. Now move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today and the weekend. All right, yesterday, Europa League first leg, Braga over SC Freiburg 2-1. First leg, Nottingham Forest over Aston Villa 1-0. Conference League, Rayo Vallecano over Strasbourg 1-0. And Shakhtar Donetsk loses to Crystal Palace 3-1. The Pro League, Eddie Falk over Al 3-1. Al Khalid Al-Fayal 1-1 draw. And then we don't have a lot for today, which is surprising. So 3 o'clock today, Leeds against Burnley in the EPL. Leeds minus 260, Burnley 7 on the draws plus 370. I'm gonna go with under 2.5 goals plus 114. La Liga, Girona Mallorca. Girona minus 105, Mallorca 3-1, draw plus 240, going Girona minus 105. All right, women's 8 o'clock. Houston, Seattle. Houston plus 155, Chicago or Seattle plus 65. The draws plus 220. I'm gonna go with the draw plus 220. I think there's value in the draw. All right, about to start Serie A 245. Pisa Lecce. Lecce plus 135, Pisa plus 240, draw plus 190. I'm going to go with Lecce at plus 135. Scottish Premiership 245, Livingston and Aberdeen. Aberdeen plus 145, Livingston plus 185, the draw plus 30. I'm going to go with Livingston and plus 185. All right, the Scottish Championship real quick. They're all starting soon. Ayr United, St. John Stoat. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals minus 104. Dunfermline Athletic and Arbroath. I'm going to go Arbroath plus 160. Greenock Morton and Airdonians. I'm going to go with Morton plus 120. Patrick Thistle and Queen's Park. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals plus 112. And Wraith Rovers Ross County. I'm going to go with Ross County at plus 120. All right, and then wait, do we have a Dutch Eredivisie game that I just noticed? Okay, false alarm. All right, Saturday. All right, EPL 10 o'clock. Brentford, West Ham, Newcastle, Brighton and Hove, Wolverhampton, Sunderland 12:30 on the big NBC before the Derby. Arsenal, Fulham. La Liga 8 o'clock. Villarreal, Levante 10:15. Valencia, Atletico Madrid 12:30. Alaves, Atletico 3 o'clock. Osasuna, Barcelona. Bundesliga 9:30. FC Union Berlin, FC Cologne, Bayern Munich, FC Heidenheim, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Hoffenheim, VfB Stuttgart, Bremen, Augsburg, and 12:30, Bayer Leverkusen, and RB Leipzig. All right. Busy soccer day on Fox. Look at that. 1 o'clock, Toronto, San Jose. 2:30 on Fox. KC, Seattle. 4:45 on Fox. Real Salt Lake, Portland. 7:15 Fox Sports 1. Inter Miami, Orlando. 7:30 Atlanta, CF Montreal. Columbus, Minnesota. New England, Charlotte. Philly, Nashville. Red Bull, Cincy, or Dallas. Chicago, Cincy at 8:30. Houston, Colorado, 9:30, San Diego, LAFC, 10:30, Galaxy, Vancouver. Women's Champions League second leg, Lyon as an Arsenal. Arsenal leads 2-1 on aggregate. Women's Soccer League, all games are on Ion. 4 o'clock, Orlando, Washington, 6:30, North Carolina, KC, and 8:45, Angel City, Utah. Liga MX, 9 o'clock, Tigres and Guadalajara, and 11:15, Atlas Cruzazul, both first legs. Serie A, 9 o'clock, Udinese, Torino, noon, Como, Napoli, 2:45, Atalanta, Genoa. League 1, 9 o'clock, Nantes and Marseille, 11 o'clock, PSG, Lorient, 1 o'clock, Metz, AS Monaco, 3 o'clock, Nice, Lens. Women's Super League, Man United, Brighton, Nova at 7 a.m. Dutch Eredivisie, 10:30, FC Utrecht, NAC Breda, 12:45, FC Groningen, Excelsior, 2 o'clock, Ajax, PSV, and NEC, Telstar at 3. The Pro League, 11:50, Al Fateh and MSC, 12 o'clock, Damak, Al Khalij, 2 o'clock, Al Hazim, Al Halal. Premiership, 10 o'clock, Dundee, St. Mirren, Falkirk, Motherwell, and Kilmarnock, Dundee United. All right, Sunday. EPL, 9 o'clock, AFC Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, 10:30, Man United, Liverpool, and 2 o'clock, Aston Villa, Tottenham. La Liga, 8 o'clock, Celta Vigo, Elche, 10:15, Getafe, Rayo Vallecano, 12:30, Real Betis, Real Oviedo, and 3 o'clock, Espanyol, Real Madrid. Bundesliga, 9:30, St. Pauli, Mainz, 11:30, Magdeburg in Dortmund, 1:30, SC Freiburg, VfL Wolfsburg. MLS, 3 o'clock, NYCFC, DC United, 5:30, Austin and St. Louis. Women's Champions League, 10:30, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, second leg tie on aggregate. Women's Soccer League, 1 o'clock, ESPN2, Chicago, Portland. 3 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Boston, Denver. 5 o'clock, Gotham, Louisville. And 7 o'clock, San Diego Bay FC. Liga MX, 7 o'clock, first leg, America and UNAM. And 9:15, first leg, Toluca, Pachuca. Italian, 6:30, Bologna, Cagliari. 9 o'clock, Sassuolo, AC Milan. 12 o'clock, Juventus, Verona. 2:45, Inter and Parma. French League 1, 9 o'clock, Lille, Le Havre AC. 11:15, Ajax Angers, Paris FC Brest. Strasbourg, Toulouse. 2:45, Lyon and Rennes. Super League, 7 o'clock, Man City, Liverpool. Tottenham, London City. 9:30, Leicester, Chelsea. Dutch Eredivisie, 6:15, FC Villen and Heerenveen. 8:30, Fortuna Sittard, Feyenoord. PC Zwolle, Heracles. 10:45, AZ Alkmaar, FC 20. And Sparta and the Go Ahead Eagles. Pro League, Al Shabab, Al Tun at noon. 2 o'clock, Ali and Al Khaldun and Al Qiddiash and Al Nasser. And the Premiership at 7 o'clock Eastern, Hibernian and Celtic. All right, that was a lot of soccer. Now move on to golf. We'll just go over the top of the leaderboard, maybe the top 25 for the Cadillac. Your leader right now with a score of 10 under is Cam Young. Tied for second, 8 under, Nick Taylor, Jordan Spieth. 4th, 7 under, Alex Smalley. Tied for 5th, 6 under, Alex Fitzpatrick, Christopher Rattain, Siwoo Kim, Andrew Putnam, Gary Woodland. Tied for 10th, 5 under, JT Pasadeki, Matsuyama, Ricky Fowler, Matt McCarty, Kurt Katayamas. Tied for 14th, 4 under with Sudarshan Yelamajaru, Aldrich Pottinger, Nico Echeverria, Tommy Fleetwood, Bud Cauley, Tom Hook, Ben Griffin, Brian Harmon, Sam Stevens is tied for 23rd, 3 under with Sarah Pendrith, JJ Spawn, Sunjam, Harry Hall, Ashke Bahita, Scotty Scheffler, and Justin Thomas and Min Woo Lee. And if Matt McNeely just dropped below that. All right, so there you have it for golf. Next will be NASCAR. The truck race returns tonight after having a couple of weeks off. Texas tonight, 8 o'clock. TheSpeedyCash.com. $250. And I am gonna go with I don't see any lines for the race yet. But maybe Ty Majeski, just blind pick. And the no apps is tomorrow at 3:30. The Andy's Frozen Custard, 3:40. I'm gonna go with Sheldon Creed, 13-1. And then the Cup Series Sunday from Texas, the Worth 400 presented by Liqui Moly. I am going to go with an old favorite one to pick. Joey Logano, 14-1. All right, so there you have it for NASCAR. Still haven't gotten to Survivor yet. So I'm going to do on this day. All right, so 2013, Damian Lillard named NBA Rookie of the Year. 2014, Canucks fired John Tortorella. He was only 1 year there. 2015, Jaylen Brown commits to Cal. 2021, Lions select Amon-Ra St. Brown. 2015, Vikings select Daniel Hunter. 2023, the Flames fire Daryl Sutter. 2019, Corey Kluber fractures his arm. 2013, the Warriors defeat the Nuggets in the first round. That was Steph Curry's playoff coming out party. 2015, Cardinals select David Johnson. David Johnson was good for a few years. 2015, Seahawks select Tyler Lockett. 2019, Timberwolves hire Gerson Rosas as president. And 2015, Homer Bailey to undergo Tommy John surgery. I remember how good Homer Bailey was. So there you have it for on this day. Now move on to news and notes. Nico Horner left the game for the Cubs. It just came down right now, according to Jesse Rogers. So the Jack Adams Award finalists came out. John Cooper, Dan Muse, and Lindy Ruff. Lindy Ruff's winning that award. A lot of speculation about Connor McDavid's future as Anaheim beat him. And Connor McDavid said that the Oilers were an average team all year. Well, he was right. And now there's questions about his future because his contract's up after next season. So, more likely to be traded, Connor McDavid or Nikola Jokic. I think there's a chance both of them are traded this summer. And I think the two teams I root for are going to be in play for both guys, depending. I know the Rangers are certainly going to be in play for McDavid. They might be one of the front runners. But to me, it just depends on this run that the Knicks go on. If they get flame out against the Sixers or the Celtics, then they could see Jokic in play for them and Towns being a part of a possible package. But I also saw Oklahoma City in play for Jokic. Obviously the Leafs are going to be in play for Connor McDavid and the Devils. I think everybody's going to be in play for McDavid. The Islanders, Vegas, who's literally the home of star power. Who knows? Maybe Carolina, because we really don't know if they have the guy that could put you over the top. I mean, maybe Florida, as crazy as that sounds, but I think that's like everybody's in play for McDavid, I think. And then on the flip side, I don't think everybody's in play for Jokic. But people are already throwing out Oklahoma City in case they lose early. Like, say Luka comes back and they lose to the Lakers, maybe. Like, they're talking about OKC for Jokic. Cleveland, maybe the Celtics, if they lose on tomorrow night, they're going to be talked about for Jokic. But we have time to talk about this, and maybe I'll have James Celestin on to do trades. Evgeny Malkin open to other teams. He's hoping the Penguins bring him back, but wants one more year in the NHL either way. This could be the Martin St. Louis situation. Fernando Mendoza may sit to start the year, as anonymous exec says all indications point to him being a backup. Are you kidding me? He's picked number 1 overall. You start him right away and have Kirk Cousins be the mentor. Oh, wow. Executives call it the Jaguars GM as James Gladstone's draft strategy criticized for trying to be smarter than everyone else. Huh. That's a little crazy. Every GM's trying to be smarter than everybody else. Theo Epstein had a role in the Alex Cora firing, as he was one of the voices in the manager change. I had no idea he was a minority owner. That's crazy. And then David Stearns backs Carlos Mendoza. He says rough start isn't a manager problem. But he ain't Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen could be the one to be like, hey, you're both fired. And the Mets are eyeing offensive help as all pitchers are on the table for trade except McLean, Peralta, and Holmes. Are you kidding me? I mean, how about turn your season around a little bit first, but that could be a too little too late situation. You're already double digit under 500. Paul DeJong opts out of the Yankees deal, so he'll be a free agent. Russell Wilson is mulling retirement as he's in deep talks over transitioning to a career in television. So that would be interesting. Everybody was going nuts about the Knicks and their blowout win in Game 6. A GM says that the number 1 pick is not easy as a choice, as an anonymous NBA executive talked about how AJ versus Darren Peterson is closer than people expect. Caitlin Clark injured in the preseason as she was limping following contact on a 3-pointer against the Wings. McCollum suitor is likely as other teams expected to have interest in him in free agency. Nikola Jokic is committed to the Nuggets as he's asked about his extension status after the first round exit, but I honestly think he's in play to get traded too. Jason Tatum injury status positive, as he told his teammates he's good to go after experiencing left leg discomfort during Game 6. But yeah, Desamu had the calf issue. We'll see if he's okay for round 2. Is that Game 1 on Sunday? No, that Game 1 will be the same day as the Knicks Game 1. So, yeah, I know what I'm picking in that series. And I know what I'm picking in the Knicks series against either Boston or Philly. The Colts declined Anthony Richardson's fifth-year option as they'll expire after this season. Doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, Jamal Murray had a really bad game 6. So Jaden McDaniel made that comment about the Nuggets not knowing or not having any good defenders. And the lights weren't too bright for Jaden. So yeah, Chris Finch says he talked all series and he backed it up all series. That's called legitimate tough. But yeah, and somebody like that, I normally would say would have no business talking like that, but he proved himself wrong. The Suns are having a long-term deal with Dylan Brooks, as they're hoping to sign him under the $125 million max, which they better sign it under $100 million, because Dylan Brooks ain't worth $100 million. Hell fucking no. So there you have it for news and notes. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So for this one, it's gonna be interesting. I have a pick in mind, and it's going to be in baseball, and it's going to be a run line. A bad team that is awful, and to pick against that team, but it's also a pick on the best team record-wise in baseball, and that's the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to lay the run line minus 118. So there you have it. So I'll be back Monday recapping everything, look ahead to everything come Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend, everybody.